First of all, this is not part of my planned speech, but I just want to say a few words about Johnny. No, I think from the bottom of our hearts, Johnny, what a beautiful ceremony. And I did the prep. Yeah. You made us cry, and thank you for doing a beautiful job. I'm sure people are also going to compliment you, but I thought from me I had to.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone, and also to my family. Thank you then all for being here today, especially those that have traveled afar. I know Johnny thanked you already. It was really momentous to have everyone here, traveling from places like Thailand, I think, Vietnam, Malaysia, South Africa, Miami, St. Bart's, I think Trinidad as well, even Scotland. And I have to say the Lake District, to name a few. To Lucy, I don't know where you are, Lucy, I think you're in that corner there somewhere, Amy's friend from New Zealand. I think you take the prize for the longest distance traveler. And a special thank you from Amy. I then welcome all of you then to this momentous occasion of the celebration of the marriage of Amy Lee to Leon. For those that I've yet to meet, my name is Mark, and I'm the proud father and most grateful father of Amy. I think everyone would agree that Amy Lee, you're an absolutely stunning and beautiful bride. I must say, I have not witnessed a more beautiful bride since your mom 32 years ago. Yeah, it has truly been an honor and a privilege to walk you down the aisle. Thankfully not single file. To give your hand in marriage to Leon. All right, now a little story about Amy. As a little girl, Amy already demonstrated a determined and somewhat stubborn character, but with the hallmarks of a pure, loving and giving heart. When Amy was about 3 years old and Lindsay, her sister, 1, we went on a family outing to some Bushman paintings in caves in what's called the Drakensberg Mountains. Drakensberg in Afrikaans is the Dragon Mountains. It was a few kilometers to walk, and Renee and I gave Amy Lee a challenge. That if she walked all the way on her own, we would buy her a soft toy from the gift shop on our return, right? Needless to say, she did it. And we bought her a lion soft toy. So it was about a year or so later that her brother Kevin arrived. And it was time for his sisters to meet him in hospital. And without any prompting, when we got to the room where Kevin was with his mum, Amy gently placed the toy lion next to Kevin. And Kevin, I think, still has that toy today. And this is how Amy Lee has been throughout her life. Determined, a little stubborn and headstrong, but with a pure, loving and giving heart. And Amy, it is with enormous joy and pride to see you here today as a beautiful adult woman, embarking on a journey of happiness together with Leon. Now for Leon. Leon, short little bit. As you know, Leon, I think you know our family truly loves you. And I'm thrilled that you have chosen Amy to be your wife and to be your life partner. And as I said to you, I think at your other wedding, can we call it? I learned in this journey a very big lesson as a father, and that is to trust your children's choices in life. And I'm happy and thrilled that Amy chose you to be her husband. And I know then full-heartedly that you will always take care of our precious jewel here. Thank you, Leon. How am I doing for time, Johnny? All right, so before I take a seat, I have one last task to perform. And it's a task that is both my honor and my privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, please may I ask you then to stand and raise your glasses. You don't have to stand. Okay. And join me then in wishing the newlyweds a long, healthy, and very happy future together. To Amy, Leon, Leon. Cheers.
Thank you, Dad.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a slightly difficult task because my speech is exactly the same as Mark's. All you have to do is replace Amy with Leon and forget anything about putting toys on hospital beds and all that stuff. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Brian, Leon's father. One half of Team Stevens. We somehow managed to muddle along and bring up 4 wonderful boys. My wife prompted me on this. My lovely and beautiful wife, not prompted. Leonie is here beside me. She's been the guiding light, or possibly guiding force, in helping our boys become the men they are today. Firstly, we'd like to thank everyone who's managed to come here today to celebrate Leon and Amy's special occasion. Many of you have come from far-flung places, New Zealand perhaps. In some cases, this was despite the best efforts of airlines, authorities and weather systems to try and thwart your plans. We truly appreciate you being able to be here today. It doesn't seem half a lifetime ago that Leon and I embarked on our journey of bringing up a family together. We had absolutely no idea what we were doing. Well, there was no Google or ChatGPT. There were no YouTube videos and no social media influencers. We just put on our learner plates and started our journey in first gear, sometimes stalling, and sometimes accidentally going to reverse at 60 miles an hour. Leon was born in Northwick Park Hospital in Harrow after a long and exhausting labour. I mean, I was so exhausted that the moment he came out, I had to go for a celebratory Big Mac and fries, much to Leon's disapproval. Followed by more dagger stares when, instead of looking dotingly on our new son for hours on end, after 5 minutes I chose to bounce Leon on my knee to try and keep him asleep while I was reading a newspaper. Leonie is a wonderful mother, and it's largely due to her influence that the helpless, non-stop feeding, babbling, pooping ball of joy that we held in our arms 30 years ago has become the incredible young man who sits beside Amy today. Well done, Leon. I'm sure that Leon's checkered teenage history will be covered by others. So I will just briefly cover the early years. Leonie made sure that as a youngster, he had plenty to keep him occupied and out of mischief. He is quite sporty and enjoyed being a goalkeeper in our local football team. With our dream, he'd become the next Peter Shilton. Most of you don't know who Peter Shilton is, but he also learnt piano and saxophone in the hope he'd become the next David Bowie. And Kumon in the hope he'd become the next Einstein. Despite our best efforts, he showed his own unique character and determination, similar to Amy, I understand. At the age of 3, instead of wanting to be the next Peter Shilton, David Bowie or Einstein, he decided he wanted to be the next Bob the Builder. He duly set out to hone his building skills. One day, Leonie and I just sat down to have a cup of tea when we heard a loud banging noise. We rushed outside to see Leon practicing his hammering technique on Leonie's brand new company car. leaving Leonie to explain away the damage to her bosses. I think it was eventually put down to a freak hailstorm. On another occasion, Leon once again showed his determination to become Bob the Builder by recruiting his younger twin brothers, Sean and Dale, into the construction team. I don't know whether he paid them, but they were there. Actually, it turned out to be a deconstruction team. Because when we once again heard a loud noise outside, we rushed out in the back garden, only to discover that Leon and his team were banging large chunks out of our newly laid patio in an effort to remodel it in accordance with Leon's design requirements. Having covered the early years, to keep the speech from going on too long, I've got about, another 5 hours or so, I'm going to wind up swiftly forward to the present. Amy, you look absolutely stunning today. Yes. Indeed, as always. We are very fortunate that Leon has found someone amazing to take over the reins and keep him on the straight and narrow. Amy is a wonderful woman from a loving family and has been so well brought up that I'm sure she has never dreamt of hammering her mother's car or remodelling her parents' patio. Renee and Mark must be equally proud of her as we are of Leon. Amy, we are so happy that you're part of our family, and we couldn't have hoped for a better daughter-in-law. We wish Amy and Leon well on their journey through life. If what they've managed to achieve so far is any indication of a future, then they will overcome all of life's trials and tribulations and have a wonderful partnership together. I believe it is now tradition to pass on my advice to Leon on how to have a successful marriage. It is quite simple. Firstly, if you're ever asked which dress suits your wife best, never give a straight answer. Otherwise, it will be blamed when she later changes her mind. Secondly, in case you ever get confused, your wife is always right. Okay? In case you're not sure, just ask her. And if you ever forget, she'll always be there to remind you. It only remains for me to ask you all to join me in a toast. Which I don't have a glass in my hand. Excuse me. Grab one. Got glasses. Okay. To Leon and Amy. May you have a wonderful life together, and may all your hopes and dreams come true. Cheers. 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 Cheers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Cheers.
Good evening, everybody. As most of you may know, I'm Lindsay, maid of honour, and Amy's younger sister. But as Amy loves to say, it's been an honour to be your maid. Well, I've been honoured to be your maid for the last 2 years. It's truly been a privilege to have watched my sister on her journey to this day. She's come a long way from asking her little sister to walk her to the potty because she was scared of the dog. We had a good childhood, but there were a few rough patches along the way. Our childhood games were particularly tough. I was never allowed to play with the Rapunzel Barbie, the pink skirt that was adjustable. When playing moms and dads, I was never allowed a turn to be the pregnant mom or playing with any of the good animals. Amy would always go first, and when it came to my turn, she'd be over the game and leave instantly. But it didn't stop there. Our adventure in the film was also kind of rough too. But that's when Leo came along, so it was fun. It was worth it. But when my mum wished for 2 daughters who'd be best friends, the universe listened. This last year has been the most challenging time in my life, and as always, Amy stuck with me like glue. From the beginning to the end, she was there. I'm getting a bit serious now. Amy, you're the most incredible person I know. You've achieved every goal you've ever set your mind to without skipping a beat. You're kind beyond words, and your heart is almost too kind for this world sometimes. You've guided me through life's ups and downs with unwavering love and support, whether I've asked for it or not. You've been my rock, my confidant, and my best friend. Our relationship is not conditional, but as always, I'll look up to you if you look up to me. I couldn't be happy for you as you start this journey as a married woman. Leon, as you know, I'm another overly protective Passage sibling and proud to be. And I wouldn't let just anybody around my sister, but it's been the easiest journey with you as I've witnessed just how much you compliment her in every way. You bring out the best in her and love her for all that she is, even when she's unreasonably grumpy and needy and you message me for help. You're in for a wild ride, or you're the perfect person for her. And it's not just because you're tall. You're also a perfect addition to our family. And we thank you for being the older brother that Kevin's always dreamed of. I wish you both a lifetime of happiness, fun, and adventure together, and I couldn't love you more. Cheers to the newlyweds.
Buenos noches, everyone. It's so lovely to see you all here looking so glamorous. Welcome to the first of not 1, not 2, but 3 best man speeches tonight. Leon either didn't want to offend 2 of the 3 of us, or he thought this was a Comedy Central roast. So, first of all, I'd like to say a few words about the bride. But I need to put something on before I do this. Johnny? Behind you. I stole this on like the night out of the day. Okay, Amy, you look absolutely stunning today. Doesn't she look beautiful? So over the last 4 years that we've gotten to know you, it's been so apparent that you are beautiful inside and out. You are bubbly, sweet, joyous, smart and caring. You're an amazing auntie to my little daughter. Like, it really does mean so much to me. Aww. And every time I see you and Leon together, it's so apparent how much you guys love each other. My family feel blessed to have you in our lives, and we look forward to hanging out with you, the dogs, the babies, plural, in the years to come. Cheers to Amy, everyone. So, I was actually quite nervous in like the few days leading up to this speech. But yesterday it dawned on me that we're actually super lucky to all be here together in this gorgeous setting with family, friends, old and new. In, where am I? I've lost where I am. Found it. These moments are super special. Like, it's crazy that people have come from all around the world, New Zealand included, to be here at this particular place, at this particular time, just because 4 years ago, Leon and Amy both swiped right. So just a cheers to Bill being here together, and as Leon would say, to having a legendary night. And now to Leon. You look good. You look really good. You look very suave. Probably not the best idea to actually wear velvet in sunny Spain, but you look good, bro. Leon is the sweatiest man that I know. he was so worried about how much he was actually going to sweat tonight that he's got 2 backup shirts just in the room over there. I mean, you are. So I know Leon from school, but we only really became friends and got close after that. For the 4 or 5 years before Leon and Amy met each other and I met my partner Sarah, me and Leon were inseparable. We would spend pretty much every weekend together, plus a few weekday sessions too, drinking too much, making bad decisions, and seeing far too many sunsets. So much so even that I imagine a few people, probably Anita over here, thought that it would be me and Leon at the altar tonight.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Anita. We were both a bit lost at the time, just trying to figure out life and understand what our purpose was. But we had each other, and while I can't speak for Leon, although I know he feels the same way, his friendship helped me through some really tough times. He was always there to pick me up and keep me moving forward, dust me off, keep me moving forward. Thank you so much, man. I love you so much. Last little bit. So our lives have also weirdly paralleled over the last few years. So 2019, we both met our partners. 2020, we both got dogs. 2021, we both got a bit fatter. And 2022, I had a baby, and Leon also had a baby. And you can find that parked in his parents' driveway 99% of the time. Beautiful, beautiful baby.
It's perfect.
It is. But seriously, dude, you're loyal, loving in your own sick way, fun, ambitious, and you are the big brother that I never had, but I always wanted. I love you, and I'm so happy that you're starting this new chapter in your life. To Leon and Amy. Give me a hug. Mwah.
I can't say that being sandwiched between Seon and Dan is an experience that anyone would ever enjoy, but here I am. I suspect actually it will probably come as a surprise to some of you to see the priests giving a best man speech, but budget cuts are really brutal, and Leon is actually staggeringly unpopular, so here I am. But I have to say, the advantage of officiating the ceremony and giving a best man speech is that I had a nice chance earlier to highlight Leon's sort of positive attributes during the ceremony. And now I have a chance to set the record straight. So it's good stuff. So I've known Leon since school, where our first few years together, we weren't actually particularly close. In fact, I knew far better the impressive shadow cast by Leon's head than the man himself. But when we entered the sixth form of our school, that all seemed to change when Leon and I bonded, I think, over our bizarrely lanky physiques and our remarkable expertise in drinking very cheap lager. We're both masters of this. And so the two beanpoles have really never looked back since. So here we are. We then also attended university together, although perhaps attending is a bit of a stretch for limping half-assed through a nearly failed geography degree, Leon, but, you know, we're here in one piece. But in all seriousness, uni was where we became really particularly close. And a large part of that was that Leon spent almost every night sleeping on the floor in my room. This was actually such a common occurrence that in one particularly unfortunate night when I was taken to hospital, we don't need to go into the details of that, my parents came round to pick something up from my room, and to their surprise, they were presented with a half-naked, probably fairly drunk Leon. A pleasant surprise, I'm sure, but a surprise nonetheless. But man, we've had some amazing memories over the years, from trips to Greece, where Leon acquired the nickname the Mule. Exactly, he knows. To spending late summer nights in Altea playing the drinking game higher or lower with just the two of us as competitors. There were no winners that night, I can safely say. Of course, it's been a very long time since all of these shenanigans, and Leon's really clearly matured and grown up a lot over the past few years, as evidenced by his recent purchase of a bright orange sports car. And I just have to say, Leon, well done. You've successfully, at the age of 34, completed your midlife crisis. So I know the picture I've painted of Leon so far is a bit of a buffoon, and it's absolutely accurate, but underneath all of that, there's a bloody good guy. And that's in no small part down to his parents. So Leanne and Brian, this guy absolutely loves you. Dale, Sean, Max, possibly he tolerates you guys too, which is good. Leon and I have shared countless nights getting deep and emotional, discussing our family and love and admirations for those of us near and dear to us. And personally speaking, the Stevens gang have always been amazing for us as Leon's mates, so thank you to all of you guys. And of course, this brings me on to Leon's greatest love, Amy Lee. So can we just start by getting a bloody cheers for this incredibly beautiful bride? To Amy. Come on. Amy, I remember Leon first telling me that he'd met a sober, vegetarian Christian girl, and I thought, oh my God, she really does not know what she's got herself into here. This is a problem. But in reality, you guys absolutely complement each other perfectly. Amy, you are genuinely one of the kindest, warmest people that I've ever met in my life. Your positivity and enthusiasm are just infectious. I remember meeting you for the first time and immediately demanding an eye test on the spot, rather than explain to me that wasn't really how this worked, and you actually needed sort of specialist equipment and tools and blah, 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 blah. Instead, you went on with my insane request and reassured me they probably wasn't going blind anytime soon, so thank you for that. But I feel like that example is really characteristic of your attitude. You're so much fun to be around, and you bring just amazing vibes whenever we hang out. So you truly are an absolutely incredible woman, and together you guys make just the most special couple. Yeah. I'd like to end by just trying not to cry and reading out a little excerpt that I adapted from some wanker on the internet that I think perfectly sums up my thoughts about Leon and Amy, what I'd ask for you as the best man. Shade. Leon isn't perfect. Nobody is. But if he makes you laugh at least once, causes you to think twice, and if he admits to being human and making mistakes, hold on to him and give him the most you can. He isn't probably going to quote poetry. He's not going to sing you a love song, I hope. But he'll give you a part of him that he knows that you could break. Don't hurt him. Don't change him. And don't expect more than he can give. Smile when he makes you happy. Yell when he makes you mad. And miss him when he's not there. Love hard when there's love to be had. Perfect guys don't exist, but there's always one guy that's perfect for you, and that's my Leon. Come on. Bring it home, baby. Amy, I'm absolutely certain that this guy's head over heels for you. And Leon, I've just got written here, say something nice, I'm struggling. I love you, man, I love you like a brother. You've got a great wife, don't mess it up. But seriously, love you to absolute bits, and we all absolutely adore you both. So please, guys, raise your glasses for this amazing couple, Leon and Amy.
You're the best. Thank you so much. I'll give that guy.
First of all, I would like to start by saying to the parents, Leonie, you look beautiful tonight. Can we all get a round of applause, please? Because she does look stunning. Brian, and guys, you also, wow, I mean, you do look, you look stunning. I mean, this is before we're even getting onto the bride and groom. But you look fantastic. One of the most special things about my role tonight is that there are three of us, but but there could have been 15 or 20 or 25 of us. This is Leon. Everybody is Leon's best friend. He's the guy who's always there for you. He's the guy who's always there, full stop, on your floor probably. Awake or unconscious, it doesn't really matter. He's there. But like Leon is everyone's best friend. That's who he is. He's the good guy. He's just the one everybody wants to be with all the time. That's who he is. That's who he's been since I met him when he was 13 years old. And I was also 13 years old at Merchant Taylors. And calm down, man. Yeah, that's just who he's always been. The girls knew it, the guys knew it, the parents knew it, until they didn't. But yeah, that's Leon, through and through. And he's found by to the T, the same lady. I mean, Amy, you're just gorgeous. You're just the nicest person I think I've ever met. You're a sweetheart. You're gorgeous. And tonight you've absolutely blown everyone away. You guys are perfect for each other. I've seen some of Leon's pretty catastrophic breakups in the past. And from literally there's been a few. And they always seem to avoid. Okay, there's been the one. Okay, let's do it. There's been the one when you came over in a pink kimono. There's been the one which is, yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute. There's been the one the day before my wedding. There's been the one which had, yeah.
I was best man.
Yeah, you. That's questionable. There was the one with the Holby City plot line, if you know the one I'm talking about, which we won't go into right now. Well, you can come after me later. But there's been a few. Oh, anyway, this one was clear from the get-go that it was just not going to happen. Like really, really, really obviously clear. And yeah, you guys so I actually live with my beautiful wife in Israel. So I haven't had the pleasure of living in the same country with Amy while they've been going out. But I think we have, every time I've met you, we've had such a beautiful connection. You were with Tommy as well. Tommy is in love with you, by the way. Yeah. It's just so clear that this is meant to be and is going to last forever. But let's get on to the nasty stuff. So Leon has always had, since the day I met him, a special knack for weird trouble. The kind of weird situations that only special people find themselves getting into. Like, I think the first time he got a Saturday detention, I remember him talking about Bob the Builder. He was like, I guess, Isaac the IT guy. He went into the computer room and he swapped the monitors from each computer to the next. And then as he walked out, he just gave a little wave to the camera. So they obviously found him. We gave him a Saturday detention. I think I was there with you that week, actually. Yeah. If we weren't best friends by then, we were best friends afterwards. And there's too much weird trouble to talk about, but that was one that really sticks in my mind. And Amy, I have a confession to you, actually. So you know Tom Louis Fordham, my boy? Yeah. You know Louis, his middle name, after your dog? It's not after your dog. No, I'm sorry. It's not after your dog. I was banking on that so I could call your first kid's middle name Batman. But I figured it was just not, it's not it's Louis after someone, Louis Armstrong actually, okay. But I loved it when you thought that. I really wanted to tell you earlier, but Liam was like, no, we're doing this. Weird trouble, yes. But overall, I just want to tell you we love you so much. Everybody here from both sides, we know how special you are, and it's clear for everyone to see. Love you too. So, Leon's speech and the vengeance. The day before my wedding, Leon got unceremoniously dumped. Well, that's enough of that, right? But he got me good after that, because that's where his mind goes. He was like, Dan, what were those things you told me I couldn't say at your wedding? I was pretty preoccupied, as you can imagine. I said, oh, I don't remember, but this, that, and the other. And that was his speech the next day. And it was a bad speech, and he got cut for time from our video. So, yeah. That was that. And Leon, I just want to say, there's one thing I want to do for Leon, because, you know, it's really important for him. Leon's a really big guy. He's really big. We know this about Leon. Really big. And he needs to know this. He asks, what? No, don't worry. He asks, what? He asked for confirmation, for verbal confirmation. Because for example, for Johnny, him and Johnny have always had this argument, who's bigger? Johnny or Leon? He's 6'3", who cares? You're big, we get it, really big, we get it. So can I just ask for everyone here, do you mind just saying to Leon, so he knows it for good, that he's really big? Leon, you're big! Yeah, thank you. So Leon, now you know, and you don't have to carry on asking people, okay? But I mean, man, I love you so much. You know I love you. You were my best mate forever now. Like since I went to Merchant Taylor's 13 years ago, I've only known you 4 years longer than my wife, who everybody uses as the benchmark for long periods of time to know someone. So yeah, I love you to bits. It's a real shame for me that I'm not living in the same country as you, and my kid isn't growing up literally next to you, because you'd be a bloody great godfather. And I just want to say a little something in Hebrew, if I may. שתמיד תדע כמה גמלים אשתך שווה, אבל לעולם לא תהיה לך סיבה למכור אותה. May you always know how many camels your wife is worth, but never have reason to sell her. I love you, dear.
I know you're all eagerly anticipating a speech from an accountant. So to help make my speech funnier, I thought I'd start things off with a toast. And who better to toast than all of you, our guests tonight. So I'd like you to raise your glasses and give yourselves as big a cheer as possible. We really do appreciate you coming all the way to Mallorca to celebrate our wedding with us. To our guests. Thank God. Number one. So I spent some time thinking about what I was going to say in this speech. And I have to admit that I was struggling for ideas a bit. For those in the know, this is something of a rare event. Even early brainstorming sessions gave rise to a couple of ideas. Do I use this time to finally get my friends to listen to my dodgy tax advice? Do I perhaps use this time as an opportunity to thank my brothers for sacrificing themselves and succumbing to the Stephen's hairline before I have? As I pondered the tax advice that you'd all be receiving, Amy interrupted my brainstorming session, and as she so often does, boo, and as she so often does, provided me with the inspiration that I needed. So today, I wanted to talk to you all a bit about happiness, and more personally, about what makes a happy life. Big hint, Amy has also provided me with enough proof that I need to understand that there'll be no happy life without a happy wife. So, after much deliberation, I decided, I'm sure to the absolute disappointment of my mother, that the key to a happy life is the people who fill it. Not money, Mum. I am half Chinese, I have to clarify that. So I'm fortunate enough to be stood here giving a speech to a terrace full of great people. I feel extremely lucky that it's at the merging of my family with the Bassagers. Mark, Renee, Lindsay and Kevin, you've welcomed me with open arms from the moment I arrived. I'm aware that as an accountant, who happens to also be a food fanatic and supporter of Manchester United, I had a relatively easy ride. But getting to know you all over the years has been an absolute pleasure. You may not know this, well you do by now, but Amy and I met on a dating app. And I want to take a moment to thank Kevin for picking me out of Amy's potential suitors as the boy who looked the least douchey. She clearly had great taste at the time. So thank you to Kevin, matchmaker extraordinaire, but also thank you to the whole Bassage family, you guys too, for being so open, so warm, and so kind. You've all done well to cope with me so far. And you've raised a truly wonderful daughter and sister in Amy Lee. Yeah, thank you. More. Woo! Bassagers, come on! So, looking out the tables full of my friends fills me with a huge amount of pride. I feel extremely proud to be able to call you my friends, although after hearing my best man give their speeches, I'm not entirely sure what I'm proud about. Terrible speeches aside, we've shared a lot of happy memories together. Focusing on just my best men, Dan, I grew up in your house. Friday nights having my second dinner, because I was a growing boy, followed by drinking excess beer and throwing up any excess beer I'd consumed at various points around your house, much to the Yeah, behind a curtain. Much to the delights of your caring mother. So I also actually want to take a moment right now to have everyone raise a glass for you specifically, because it's actually Dan's birthday today. So here's to it forever being remembered as my anniversary. Happy birthday, Dan. Woo, 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 woo. Johnny, we clicked from the day we met, and sorry Amy, I still don't think there's anyone in the world that makes me laugh the way you do. From days spent in front of a computer playing Football Manager, days on end, to teary chats on beaches in Greece, we have fun in a way that people don't really understand, and I absolutely love it. We'll never change, and that makes me incredibly, incredibly happy. Love you, man. Seon, my neighbour. We've spent probably too much time together over the past decade. From hungover days spent on each other's sofas to drunkenly booked bromance holidays to Budapest and Dublin. And Malaysia. We've had our fair share of memories together. I love Tala, I love Sarah, I love your family, and you're a fantastic friend. So, extending that sentiment to all of you out there, from being spotty teenagers who tried their best to get themselves arrested on a weekly basis, through to now, a group of out-of-shape men in their mid-30s, waistlines expanding on a daily basis, with never-increasing number of children in tow. It's been an absolute honour. Here's to many, many more years of friendship. So thank you all. Thank you all. Come on, big noise. Big noise for my friends. I said noise, come on. Right, and now for my family. For those that don't already know, I have 3 shorter brothers. I'm very tall. Those who have spent enough time around us when we're together will know that 99% of the conversations are simply a series of insults being exchanged. And whilst we certainly had our differences growing up, Sean tried to kill me with a knife once. We certainly have disagreements twice. Sorry, we definitely had our fair share of fights. I would do it all again, and I'd do it exactly the same. I look back on those fights fondly in a strange way, whether it was me cracking my head open in Thailand, or beating Max up for attempting to become Northwood's finest drug dealer, or tormenting Sean about his love of the Spice Girls, or relentlessly reminding Dale about the time he thought a tortoise could kill a shark. They can't. Needless to say, we've come a long way since the days of the poo pie in the garden. And I'll admit just this once that I'm proud to call you all my brothers. Right, so whilst my brothers and I did our best to resemble a wild tribe who had no parental influence, we were in fact raised by a mother and father, who are the focus of the next portion of my speech, which I think I'll find tough. Mother, you first. I'd like to start by asking you all to raise a glass and give my mum a big cheer for not only somehow surviving raising me through my teenage years, but coming out the other side of it all looking as glamorous as you do today. So not to stereotype, but in many ways, you are the classic Asian mum. A combination of work ethic, temper, and an insatiable appetite for shopping. I don't know of any other mum who learned the GCSE and A-level syllabuses in such great depth that she was able to tutor other children through their maths exams. Many a friend, Nick Wilson, receives the classic Liani lecture, normally whilst they're trapped in a car with her, telling them that they had to work hard, pass their exams, or God forbid they get a B. I'm still not one for working too hard, so far I was often met with fire during my teenage years. I punched holes in walls, for one. I like to think that I've become wiser and not just fatter in my old age. So as a much older and wiser son, I can finally say thank you for dragging me, kicking and screaming through my formative years. Without you, I most certainly wouldn't be where I am today, and not least because I'm still not sure I understand that maths paper. It's not often that these things are said out loud, at least not in our family. So, Mum, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for everything that you've done for me over the years. You've not only sacrificed a huge amount of your time, that could have been spent shopping, but also a huge amount of your handbag money on my school fees. And so, to keep the alcohol level topped up, a second toast to my mum, I'll forever be grateful for everything that you've done for me over the years. You are the best mum in the world. Okay, not long left now, folks. My friends, and Johnny in particular, will know that for a long time I've wanted to find a way to say thank you to my dad. Looking back on my childhood, there is one constant. Dad being in his office. I have never known anyone with a work ethic quite like yours. Your ability to sit and work for hours upon end to provide for us as a family is awe-inspiring. How you manage to fund our schooling, houses, holidays, cars, and anything else we ask from a little office in the back of our house is beyond me. As a child, I think a large part of you looks up to and tries to replicate or improve on your dad. This is something that I struggled with because I couldn't think of any way to improve on you. As a provider for the family, you are second to none. As a dad, you're second to none. You spent countless Saturdays chauffeuring me to my football matches so that you could spend 90 minutes stood in the rain, watching me stand in the rain, as our team was repeatedly battered by bigger, better teams. So I look back to Amy's first visit to our house, where I picked up your guitar and started strumming away to impress my future wife. And you must have heard me. You came into the room and I asked if you had a plectrum, and off you went, oblivious to what was going on. I carried on playing the guitar, badly, and you returned after 5 minutes searching the house to present me with the previously requested plectrum. The story itself isn't much at all, but it highlights a characteristic that Amy picked up on straight away. You're generous with your time. No request is too much, and time doesn't seem to matter to you if we have a question for you or ask you for help putting up shelves, something I'm still not able to do. So, Dad, I wanted to take the opportunity to tell you that I appreciate everything you've done for us and the sacrifices that you've made. You are a constant source of inspiration, and you're my benchmark for what it takes to be a good person. So to my dad, thank you very much. Woo, that was hard. And so, I know. And so, the final stretch. My wife. My wife. My wonderful, wonderful wife. And also my wife. Can we please give her the biggest cheer of the evening? Not just because she looks incredible. Come on, she does have to put up with me for the rest of her life. You can keep it going. Amy, you are simply the best person that I know. You are my best friend and you are my inspiration. As mentioned many times before, we met on a dating app. You romantically swiped right before having Kevin verify me as someone who looked least like a douche. You then flew off to holiday in Barbados where, for a reason still unknown to me, you decided to start sending me photos of your sunburned feet. Followed by photos of your sunburned feet that had now started peeling. Who says romance is dead? Needless to say, I was sold. Truth be told, as Johnny's already mentioned, you were an unlikely match. At the time we met, you were a strict Christian, a vegetarian, and you didn't really drink. I was a strictly non-religious, corporate, drinking carnivore. And after every date, I returned to the office and told my colleagues at KPMG that it shouldn't work, but for some reason it was working. There was a connection that couldn't be explained, and it turned all logical thinking on its head. You've done a remarkable job putting up with me over the years. Every day you show me how to be kind, how to be patient, and how to be strong. You're the driving factor behind my 1,001 business ideas, supporting me through quitting my job as we simultaneously spent our life savings on buying a dodgy new house in Tottenham and deciding to get married. And you've pushed me to commit myself to improving as a person every day. As a result, I'm an immeasurably better person because of you. And I wake up every day as happy as I can be because you're by my side. We're a team now, and we'll be a team forever. I can't wait to grow old with you, and I can't wait to experience what life throws at us as husband and wife, because I know that no matter what, I'll be happy because I'll be experiencing it with you. To my wife! To my wife! All right. And so, to bring it all full circle and return to the topic of happiness. Great friends make me happy. And I'm fortunate enough to have great, great friends. Good family makes me happy. And I now have 2 of those. But most importantly of all, I promise to make you, Amy, a happy wife for the rest of our lives. So let's have one final cheer and a toast to happiness before we go drink. Whatever it means to you. Come on, guys.